Rescue workers are digging through the rubble of a collapsed building in India's most populous city tonight. Broken steel and concrete rubble are all that's left of a 5-story building that collapsed early Friday morning in Mumbai. 4 people are confirmed dead and a dozen are injured, but up to 40 others may still be trapped under the rubble. Authorities say it's too early to determine the exact cause of the collapse. However, according to CNN, residents had complained that the building's owner for years about the need of structural repairs.
New developments in Kenya as Interpol issues an arrest warrant for Samantha Luthwain, the so-called White Widow. Dozens are still unaccounted for as crews work to find missing bodies. Nate Holmes has the story.
Dozens of families in Nairobi, Kenya mourn the death of their loved ones, while others wait outside the morgue, not sure whether family members are still dead or alive. More than 60 people have been killed, with over 200 others injured. It is likely the death toll will continue to rise.
We do not believe that there is anyone in the building alive. We think that anyone that is there at the moment would be dead.
After 4 days in fighting, security forces defeated terrorists that opened fire in the Westgate shopping mall. Al-Shabaab and Al-Qaeda-linked group believed to take on the attack as payback for Kenya's involvement in helping Somalia battle Islamist insurgents. 3 floors of the Westgate Mall collapsed, and it is believed several bodies are still trapped in the rubble. Many were able to escape the attack, including San Diego native and Torrey Pines graduate Elaine Dang. Dang took to Twitter and spoke out, saying she is okay and recovering at a Nairobi hospital.
I'm very grateful to be alive. I'm also very grateful for the Kenyan people. Everyone was so helpful and supportive. I don't want people thinking that something about Kenya. I am very prideful for the country, and I love Kenyans, even though I'm American.
At the United Nations Assembly, President Obama spoke out about the devastating mall shooting, stating caution still arise in our world today.
The world is more stable than it was 5 years ago. But even a glance at today's headlines indicates the dangers remain. In Kenya, we've seen terrorists target innocent civilians in a crowded shopping mall, and our hearts go out to the families of those who've been affected.
FBI agents are now working near the rubble of the mall to help determine the identity of those who were killed. Meanwhile, many Kenyan residents are donating blood to help save the lives of the remaining survivors. Nate Holmes, Newscene.
As Kenyans mourn the deadly mall attack, a new attack on the Kenya-Somali border has left 3 policemen dead. There are now a national conversation in the region about how to combat terrorism in a more organized way.
The U.S. relationship with Iran remains too complicated as negotiations for diplomatic peace and friendship are postponed. After discussions between American and Iranian officials about a potential meeting at a United Nations luncheon, President Hassan Rouhani of Iran declined to meet with President Barack Obama.
But I believe we didn't have sufficient time to really coordinate the meeting.
Despite the cold shoulder from Rouhani, he displays a seemingly new approach to world leaders by extending open arms to President Obama and the American people.
I bring peace and friendship from Iranians to Americans.
A meeting between Secretary of State John Kerry and his Iranian counterpart was held yesterday, and negotiations to discuss Iran's nuclear activities are ongoing.
Egyptian authorities have shut down the Muslim Brotherhood's Freedom and Justice newspaper in Cairo. The closure comes 2 days after a court-ordered group outlawed its assets seized. Egypt's interim government said it would not ban the group until the ruling is upheld by a higher tribunal.
President Obama, who has been criticized for his health care reform, made an unscheduled public statement. Earlier today, he said a failure to increase government's borrowing authority would effectively shutter the economy.
The Republican agenda keeps going from bad to worse. The Republicans keep threatening a government shutdown in order to put insurance companies back in charge of America's health care.
The issue is coming to a front in Congress as Obamacare enrollment is set to begin October 1st. And we have Blake Ewing here today to tell us about the game yesterday against the 49ers and the Rams. Blake, what do you have?
That's right. It was an exciting win. We want to take this to last night's Thursday night football game between the Niners and the Rams. So, In the second quarter, 3rd and 14, Colin Kaepernick finds Anquan Bolden. He stays in bounds for the touchdown. With 44 seconds left, Frank Gore breaks free, and he can go all the way for the touchdown. Again in the third quarter, Colin Kaepernick throws to Vernon Davis for his 43rd career touchdown, which is the 49ers record for a tight end. In the fourth quarter we go. Rams Sam Bradford goes to put pass, but is knocked away by Navarro Bowman to show that great Niners defense. At the end, as the night fades away, the St. Louis Rams find themselves down, and they get blown out 35-11. All good things must come to an end, and I'm going to take you to baseball. The Yankees' Mariano Rivera played his last game as a Yankee at Yankee Stadium.
Never to be forgotten to cover, a joy to watch pitch.
Rivera retired as the MLB's all-time saves leader after 19 years in the big leagues. Last night was the San Diego Padres played their last final game of the regular season. In this one, Mark Kotsay is playing his final game as a Padre, and as he says goodbye, he gets a standing ovation from his teammates. As we go to the bottom of the first, Chris Denorfia lines one to second base, but is denied by Martin Prado with a leaping catch. Into the bottom of the second we go. Chase Headley with the short fly to right, and Gerardo Prado makes the sliding catch, but it wasn't until the bottom of the third where Jed Jericho singles to right, scoring Denorfia, giving the Padres a 1-0 lead. Headley doubles to deep right field with the ball hits off the wall and extends the lead to 2-0. In the top of the fourth, Prado takes Earling deep into left field, tying the game at 2-2. And as we go into extra innings, we go to the 11th. Bases loaded for Alia Mua Rista. He singles to center, scoring Tommy Badiga for the winning run. And we're gonna go take you to basketball. NBA star Shaquille O'Neal is back in the NBA, but not as a player. This week, the Sacramento Kings announced that Shaq will be joining the ownership group team under Vivek Radadive. Here's what Shaq had to say.
This day is an exciting day for me, exciting day for the ownership group. We look forward to the challenges of bringing it back to where it used to be and going even further. I apologize for calling you queens. I want you to understand my thought process. I wanted you to be very upset when you came to Arco Arena. I wanted you to come bring all the noise. Because as I said earlier, in my mind, if we could survive something like this, then we could win anywhere.
O'Neal tormented the Kings throughout his career with the Los Angeles Lakers. Shaquille O'Neal retired after the 2010-2011 season. Now I'm going to take you to the top play of the week. And for the top play of the week, we go to the golfer, Keegan Bradley. From the par 4, he hits a 170-yard out to the second on his second shot and takes one bounce and goes into the hole for an eagle. Let's take another shot. Let's take another look at that shot.
Launching it way up high, and watch this ball come down, just stop.
Wow, that's amazing.
Amazing indeed. Thank you so much, Blake.
Thank you.
Concert promoter AEG Live is facing some scrutiny from one ex-pop star's family.
Miss Teen USA has been humiliated in a big way. What sextortion is all about.